And here we go. Hey you, what's good, gentlemen and ladies, cows and ducks? Today we've got a very special guest to cruise the vacuum with. If you have any Guardian tech, if you have a solid mat gathering method, if you've ever looked up a tutorial, if you breathe oxygen and play Elite Dangerous, then chances are you've been on this Commander's channel. Give it up for the one, the only, the mighty Commander Exigeous. What's good with you? How are you tonight, sir?
Thank you very much for the introduction. I am doing just fine. Other than I said earlier, a little bit of a scratchy voice. But yeah, I'm doing great.
Okay, good deal, man. Thanks for granting me permission to come aboard. Tell us a little bit about the ship that we're on, man.
So we're on my Crate Mark II. This is kind of what I call my BGS build. So it's fairly multi-purpose with a decent combat kick, right? So it's got an SRV bay, it's got a fighter bay, it's actually got dual SRV bays, a fighter bay, it's got prismatic shield with its high def reinforced high cap, 3 shield boosters, couple cell banks, right? So that if I do get into go do a pirate or one of the assassination missions, that kind of stuff, it's ready to go for that. It's then got a weapon loadout that I kind of just started using recently that I like quite a bit. That is, it's dual lightweight thermal vent beam lasers with 3 short-range blaster railguns. And what I really like about it, Gabakula. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting the name of the faction of the system we've got to go to because I don't know it off the top of my head. But what I like about it is because of the thermal vent beams, I don't have to worry about heat at all. So I can run something really, really hot like the short range blasters on the railguns, which ups the DPS by like 70% or something crazy like that. And never overheat. I can pop cell banks without overheating and not have to have a heat sink on board. And so I've liked it because it's just a lot of fun. It just demolishes big ships. It's a little trickier to use on small ships, not so much medium ships, but small ships because it's all fixed. But essentially being hit scan, it's relatively easy to use, and it packs a lot of power. I also am a VR player, and so I really, really love the cockpit of the Crate Mark II because the view in it is just so stellar. Right.
Yeah.
I've never been, I don't know about yourself, but I've never been a fan of the big ships. And primarily what I don't like about the big ships is the cockpits. And do you play in VR? Have you played in VR before?
Absolutely, man. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. And so, as you then know, I detest the Anaconda because of that. The Corvette is okay. The Cutter's not bad.
Why? Is it because the bridges are so empty?
Well, it's because they're so, you have such limited visibility. Right, and yes, okay. They're so empty, but those low ceilings.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Yeah, it's got that
I never
low
even thought about
ceiling.
That, but yeah, they do.
And here I'm in my Crate Mark II, looking straight up over my head. I'm looking down between my feet. I'm looking left, and I've got this big, expansive view. And in fact, earlier when we started chit chatting, as we mentioned, I was grinding out some credits. And when I go mining, if it's painite mining, which is what I was doing, I like using the Type 9 again because of its incredible view. Right, the Lacons, the Type 9, the Asp Explorer, just have this gorgeous, expansive view. And so if I do fly a big ship, and shit, maybe that's what I should have flown tonight. If I do fly a big ship, I use a Type 10. And it doesn't handle great. And I don't PvP in these at all. I only PvP in medium class ships. I really don't enjoy large class PvP at all. But I do like the Type 10 because I do feel like I'm in this big giant thing. Where even the Corvette, you've got that big, long schnoz out in front of you, and just the view from it. And so I don't enjoy, I enjoy the experience of being in a fighter. So my favorite ship might be the Vulture.
So in the Type 9 and 10, I be breaking my neck trying to crane my head around, looking at everything, trying to look in them rooms, man. Is that you too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, early on, I would, I'd stand up in VR, just kind of walk around. And in fact, one of the things I suggest to people, if they've never done it, if you have VR, is get a ship, with auto docking, and as soon as you request dock and it begins auto docking, get up out of your seat and just stand there and look around, because the immersive experience of being able to look around and see that, you really do feel like you're on. Whoa! Hold on. Just realized I'm hopping to the station. Hold on. Should have done that quicker, wasn't paying attention. And so the experience of just walking around on it and feeling like you're a guest on someone else's ship is very intense, where I don't think you necessarily get that with other things, right?
Yeah, I could dig that.
So
I could dig that.
No pun intended, right?
Hey man, speaking of our names, I've been meaning to ask you this for the longest, man. What exactly is an Exigeous?
What an Exigeous is it is based on the Lotus Exige. So that's a car. So Lotus, there's the Lotus Elise, which is the more common of the Lotuses. And then there's the Lotus Exige, which I owned and raced one for about 10 years. And so when I, long time ago, when I needed to pick a name, it was, that was the easy, just kind of Exigeous. And I knew that nobody, let's see, damn it. So it's still thinking I'm a criminal here. Why is it looking at that? Because we don't take this. Okay, we're going to go to a different session.
Space weed in the back.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so because of that, I thought, certainly nobody else is ever going to pick this name, and I've never had any problems with it, with somebody else using it. So yeah, it's based on the Lotus Exige, the car I had raced for a long time. It just makes it, nice, and it makes it double extra hard for everybody to say too. So, right.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, for short, lots of folks usually call me X. The only one that annoys me is Exy. So I won't say anything, but yeah, I don't love Exy. There's just, there's just something about that
sexy Exy, huh?
Right, yeah. So yeah.
Hey, are you part of the East India Company? Or are you just
no,
buddies
not officially,
with them?
just buddies with them.
Okay.
I'm not I'm not really officially with anybody other than our squadron, a level 11 Squadron 11. And as much as you can be kind of a fuel rat or a member of Canon. Actually, in fact, I think I officially applied to Canon the other day. I didn't realize they kind of had an official application process. But it's more that I just kind of know all the different groups fairly well. And so I kind of try to stay, autonomous in a way, and just, get to know everybody, like everybody, try to stay out of drama from different groups and just kind of, be on the outside.
Is there drama with groups, with these Elite Dangerous groups?
Oh my God, well, you don't say, do you? Right?
It's like that, huh?
Yeah, there can be, certainly, right? I would say that...
what could people possibly have drama with on a video game?
Right. So like I've done stuff with the Fuel Rats before. Like I when I had them on, we did a couple rescues, and I've done a couple rescues with them. To actually, I think to be quote unquote a fuel rat and earn the in-game badge, you have to do what's called 10 first limpets. And so first limpet is, they send someone out to do a rescue. They always send more than one person, and so whoever the commander is that gets to them first and sends that first limpet gets a point for that, so to speak. And after 10 first limpets, you get the in-game fuel rat badge. So,
okay.
And so to be clear, I don't have that because I just haven't done that much of it. But shout out to the Fuel Rats if you guys, A, if you need them, don't hesitate, and B, if it's something you're interested in doing, I actually even have a tutorial video on how to join the Fuel Rats. And they're really great guys. It's a ton of fun. The times that I've gone and rescued people, I've really enjoyed it. And honestly, every now and then, I won't even think twice about using them, simply because I know right now there are 2 or 3 commanders sitting there staring at Rat Chat, hoping that somebody needs to be rescued so they can go do it. Right? Because that's their bag. That's what they do. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was asking you about the East India Company because in one of my videos I threw a little jab at them. It was in my doctor video.
Okay.
That's when they were blocking the or supposedly blocking the Laffy and Brandy at the time. Do you know if that was true?
You know, I don't, but at the same time, I actually do know, I obviously know several of those guys, one of them in particular fairly well. I can certainly ask. I do kind of remember something about that, though, when they were blockading Laffy and Brandy.
When I needed it.
I don't remember the story behind it, but now that you mention it, yes, I do remember something about that. So I'll find out later for you, and I'll give you the interview question if I'll get back to you. Right.
Okay. I mean, with that video, you gave me my first big break. You featured that particular video on your community tab, and my channel started growing from there.
Okay.
And now here I am interviewing you, man.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, as you know, especially those first 1,000, man, those first 1,000 are just so hard. And even after that, I mean, you know, the rate of growth you've had, I think is really fantastic. And I love the I don't know how many of these you've done yet, but the I don't know if it's a new series, but the Minute Commander or whatever you called it, the one for finding sensor fragments.
Commander,
love it. Right.
Right on, man.
As you probably, most people know, I've always tried to make that my shtick as short and to the point. Certainly in my videos, as you'll find, I ramble a bit when I talk, but as short and to the point as I can get, to make it, so that I figure you don't want to listen to me, you want to play the game. Right? You want to learn how to play Elite. You want to enjoy playing the game. You don't want to just listen to somebody ramble. When I got started, I remember I did a video early on low temperature diamond piracy, and doing research for that video, I came across somebody else's video. I'm not going to call anybody out. And I needed to know one thing. I needed to know what system type that you want to go hunt in, right? Anarchy agriculture, by the way. And you
remember that?
Well, I do it a fair bit. And so I'm digging through this video that was 45 minutes long, and I needed to know 15 seconds of information because it was the typical, hey, YouTube, this is Commander Exigeous. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel. Let's see, what do we do? Oh, yeah, we're going to, be sure to comment. It's going to be all that crap.
You're like, dude, get to the video,
exactly, man. Get to the damn point, right? And so for me, I think it's about writing a script and, even when I write a script, my first pass after that is to go through and can I take half of this out?
Yeah.
Right. How much of this can I get out of this? Right. Because again, you don't care about listening to me ramble. You want to learn whatever topic it is the video's about. Right. That's your goal basically. So how long has your channel been going now?
I think I am coming up or at 1 year.
Okay.
Probably my anniversary sometime around now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. A year now. So now I got to find a dope up and comer, help him grow, encourage him so that next year I'll have somebody to interview me.
Yeah, I've had for me too, I had such a warm welcome as well, which I know you have as well. And, while, we joke and there definitely can be some toxicity in the community, it's also amazing how great the community is, right? I mean, the vast majority is just fantastic. And, the vast majority are just super positive, super friendly, and recognize that, we're going out of our way and spending our free time, doing this stuff and building these things so that they, so they can enjoy the game more, right? And people respond to that, and certainly did to me very positively, and yourself as well, right?
Absolutely, man.
By the way, while we're chatting real quick, we're doing a little massacre, a little assassination mission here while we're chatting.
Oh,
we'll go do some shooting.
Hey man, you're a self-proclaimed gentleman pirate, man. What it?
I try to be.
What it takes to be,
I think that the main, and I'm maybe there's guys that are a lot more gentlemen than I am. Even I'll give a shout out to a guy who's got a great YouTube channel as well, 3 of 9. I don't think I've ever seen him kill. And basically the way I look at a gentleman pirate is my goal, and this is only for PvP piracy, obviously. My goal is to steal from you, not kill you, right? If I kill you, I didn't steal anything from you. I didn't win. I lost, okay? And so when I pirate, I only ask for 2 tons at a time. So certainly if I'm pirating solo, I usually pirate in either a Sidewinder, a Cobra Mark II. Occasionally I might use a crate, but really it's either the Sidewinder or the Cobra, or Cobra Mark III, Cobra Mark II, what am I saying? And I only do it for the role play fun. I just want to interact with another human, right? And see what they're all about, right? Like what's their response going to be like, right? Are they going to, are they going to have fun along with me? And as you would guess, I do get guys that role play right back with me and have a blast. I get guys that scream and curse and, combat, and combat log, right? I've had cutters combat log against my Sidewinder. Right? I mean, there's no way I can kill you and you're going to cheat and combat log against me, right? And so generally my method is, I grab somebody, and I haven't done this in a long time since community goals kind of went away. I've pirated the Operation Ida guys a couple times, but it's hard to find where commanders are going to be with cargo to steal. And so when there are cargo community goals, what I like to do there is I'll steal 2 tons of cargo so that I can turn that in for the community goal. And then usually that 2 tons will put me in the bottom tier, and it might net me 1,000,000 credits. And from that point forward, I don't even, like if somebody actually gives me 2 tons, I don't even pick it up, to be honest with you, because it's not about the cargo. It's not about trying to make money. It's simply for the role play and the interaction. Absolutely. Right. Okay. And so I will kill. If you curse me just horribly, I'm going to shoot to kill. If you're expert rank or higher and you just completely ignore me, I'm going to shoot to kill. But other than that, again, if I killed you, that's not a win, right? And my goal is not to ruin your gameplay either. Right? Sure. I don't want to, I'm not trying to be a griefer. I'm not trying to be a ganker. I'm not trying to, get off on ruining your time. I'm just trying to, if anything, I would be really fun to be pirated by, right? 3 of 9 is really fun to be pirated by because, again, with him, you're never going to get killed practically. With me, unless you're a real ass, you're not going to get killed either. So that's kind of what I consider, a gentleman pirate. I've done a little less gentleman-y when Void Opal Mining first started up, because for that I might ask for 10 or 20 tons because you can actually, there's actual money to be made, right? Given how much they're worth, right?
True.
And so, that's where I would say where I would call it a gentleman pirate.
Okay, that clears that up, I guess. No, it really does.
That's true.
What else you are is a prodigious mat gatherer, man. How did you become the mat master, man?
So again, going back to the YouTube channel, I'm all about efficiency, right? That's always been my goal, is how to play the game the most efficient way possible. And part of that, when I first started playing when engineering, so I started right when engineering came out, and I remember saying to some friends, I had no interest in engineering. I would probably never engineer anything, right? Why would I care? I don't get into PvP. I don't care about those things, right? Why would I do that? Well, once I got into PvP piracy and realized how much fun those interactions are, and by the way, we're looking for a contact for our assassination mission. Okay. And so once I got into engineering, certainly back before 3.0, when we had to roll, hundreds of times in some roles, it was all about how could you get materials the most efficiently. Then once I started the YouTube channel, it made sense to kind of make those videos and help others get through the slog of engineering and hopefully open it up for them to see that it doesn't have to be, hundreds and hundreds of hours, right? It doesn't have to be, your entire life, doing this, right? You can fully material gather and engineer a full ship in under 10 hours. And 10 hours is not a short amount of time, but in elite terms, as we know, that's pretty short. And so I'm always about, certainly if I can find a way to grab materials that's fun, right, that's engaging, which unfortunately is generally pretty tough, or certainly then, I guess I'd put it like this. I figure there's days that we work Elite Dangerous and there's days we play Elite Dangerous. And so the times when I work Elite Dangerous, I want that to be as efficient as absolutely possible, right? So that I have more time later to play Elite, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, it makes sense.
And so in that regard, I've always wanted to make that as simple as possible. In fact, I'll give a little teaser because you've seen this, and I hope to go to a full beta in, I'm not going to hold myself to this, but a week, 2 weeks tops. I'm working on an app in conjunction with Canon. To be clear, Canon's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, called Material Finder. And the way Material Finder will work is, let's say you're looking for core dynamic composites, right? Grade 5 manufactured material that specifically you have to get from high grade emissions. You can occasionally get those from a ship drop, but if you need, and you do need vast quantity of those if you do hull tanks because they're used on heavy duty armor stuff. If you need those in quantity, you're going to get those from a high grade emission. Well, where? Well, we know the kind of rules for those. We know from experience that those spawn in election, none, or boom state federal systems. Okay. Well, all right, that tells us a little bit, but let's say I'm in a Fed state, election state. Is that going to have them or not? Well, what Material Finder does is people running the Canon plugin for ED Market Connector, every single material that they pick up gets logged in the database, and then I can read that database and say, show me the top 5 systems where commanders have actually found core dynamic composites in the last hour or the last day or the last whatever time period. Okay. So then, look, somebody just got 100 of them in this system within the last hour. Somebody got 60 in that system in the last hour. Well, while you might not find a high grade in those systems, you at least know somebody else did, right? So it hopefully will take some of the guesswork out of where do we go to find these things.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the most useful tools around.
I mean, for guys like me,
use that.
Yeah, and those of us that do a lot of engineering, I think it very well could be. You need Imperial shielding. Well, I mean, again, that's boom state Imperial systems, but there's a lot of boom state Imperial systems, right? Being able to narrow it down to several that, again, a commander's actually recovered it at would be enormous.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So at this point, I think I used to actually track everything in a spreadsheet. I think at this point I've got well over 1,000, fully grade 5 engineered modules. And, something like 40 ships that are fully done. And so I kind of enjoy playing with the different combinations, playing with the different builds, seeing what you can do. Like the build I'm running right now, it's very common to use thermal vent on beam lasers. Long range is a very common one to use with that loadout, right? Because you remove you've got full distance on damage, there's no damage fall off, that kind of stuff. But the distributor draw is pretty high. Well, lightweight beam lasers cut the distributor draw by 35%. Okay, so that's not really, I didn't really care that they were lightweight. I cared that they had the 35% lower distributor draw. Because, just a quick side, efficient beam lasers with thermal vent does not work. That isn't something you want to do. Because essentially the fact that they're efficient lowers their heat output so much that then the thermal vent effect gets diminished significantly because of that. Okay, so...
Do you cover that in any of your videos?
Have I done a beam laser? I don't think I've done a beam laser video yet, to be honest with you. So, no, I don't think I've ever, officially kind of said that. Right, it's one of those things.
The drawbacks video would be great.
Yeah, well, one of the things I've started a while back, and I've done it for everything but all the weapons, is a engineering explained is what I call the series. So you go through, like I did one on railguns, right? And so here's all the different blueprints, here's all the experimentals, here's the one that is the most common and recommended. I really wish I had an interdictor, by the way, because this guy that we're chasing is the contact that we're supposed to get our data from. He's supposed to drop and let us talk to him. So I think I'm going to go do something different at the moment.
I had one of those, and you have to have, what equipment do you have to follow him through the drop?
Well, usually, no, I mean, nothing. Usually just standard stuff, right? But usually, he did say I got a message from him. I just looked in chat. Don't panic. I've been sent to find you. Good job I found you. You're a hard one to track down. But I think he's headed for the station that's in front of us. It's like 90,000 light seconds away. And I really don't want to have to fly that far. But at this point, I guess we'll just keep chatting. I'll keep following him.
So the guy I was following, he just dropped in the middle of space. I was like, well, I don't have like a wake scanner or anything to drop with him.
So here's what you do then. So if that happens, you just look on your contacts panel on the left, and you'll see his low wake will be there. You target his low wake, and then you just drop on his low wake manually. Right, that's probably what's going to happen here. No. So scanning a low wake, you only scan them. So first of all, you can't scan them while you're in super cruise. So you would scan their wake as they jumped out of normal space to either super cruise or high wake. And in fact, a wake scanner only scans a high wake and then will tell you what system they jumped to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So
it's been a while since I've used it.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things that's interesting. There's so many parts of the game, talking about material grinding, that I don't use wake scanners anymore, right? It used to be the main way you would get, say, data mine wake exceptions for grade 5 frameshift drives is you would go to an outbreak system, you would find a distribution center, and you would sit there, and I actually do have a video on this, and you would sit there and scan high wakes, right?
Yeah, that's what I did. I think I got that from your video.
Yeah, okay, and you get like 12 or 15 an hour if you're lucky.
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
Now, the way to do it is you go to the Commander Jameson crash site. There's 4 data beacons there. You just get in your SRV, you scan all 4 data beacons, you log out, log back in. You do that over and over, and in about, on the high side, 15 minutes, you will max out, I think it's aberrant shield pattern analysis, something like that. There's a grade 5 material that you max out in about 15 minutes. You then fly 2 jumps to Diaguandri to Ray Gateway, use the material trader, and trade for whatever materials you want. And sometimes I'll do that loop for about 2 hours and max out all my data. Well, 2 hours won't max it all out, but I'll max out a lot of data in that way in 2 hours. And so then I don't ever have to worry about data any other way. Oh, just hit my mic. Any other way other than using the Commander Jameson crash site.
Okay, so I'm about to do that because I know I'm going to have another build coming up and going to need some of those.
Yeah, and then, so that's the way to get data. I'll finish this out real quick. For raw materials, that you want to use the crystal shard locations. Have you been out to those yet?
No.
Okay, so I don't mean to keep plugging my shit here, but I have a video on this too. So there's a site that's about, these sites are about 1,500 light years away. So the whole process is about a 5-hour round trip. You fly out to the sites, and the video I have lists all 5 sites, I think it is, or maybe 6, and they're the crystal shards that you use the probe to scan the planet. Biological and geological sites show up. You fly down to the biological site, and it's going to be the crystal shards, which are actually really cool. Okay. And each of the different sites spawns a single material: antimony, yttrium, tellurium, I'm forgetting all of ruthenium.
Yeah,
right?
That site is great, man.
Yeah, and so you go one by one to all of those sites. The only one that doesn't exist is selenium, okay? So what I do is I fly out, I do those for about, again, it takes about 5 hours. I come back, and then I use a material trader to trade down for all the lower grade materials. And if I really want to just max everything out, I go do it one more time, and in 10 hours tops, every single raw material I have is maxed out. So like right now, I have 100% of everything. Or I probably spent a little bit recently, but that's how you can max out all of those. So I haven't gone and done like, where you drive around on a planet in your SRV and, and search for things and target them. I haven't done that in a year, because I don't need to. Wow. That takes so much time. Why would I do that? Right?
It takes a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah, and so I also used to do Dav's Hope. I'm assuming you're familiar with Dav's Hope, right?
Everybody's familiar with that.
I haven't done Dav's Hope in 6 months. Because now what I do is high grade farming, right? So I go farm high grades, and then I just trade down for everything, given the trade down rates are so amazing. right?
Trade downs are absolutely good. The trade ups,
you
suck.
get fucked.
You get robbed.
Yeah,
man.
man, you get totally screwed, right? So you don't ever want to trade, and even cross trading. Like if you go from one grade 5 to another grade 5, you get screwed there too.
Like 6 to 1. Come on, man.
Oh, it's really, if you ask me, that it should be 3 to 1. 3 to 1 is fair. 6 to 1 is not fair. And so, but here's the thing: if you can max out 100 of any grade 5. Well, then, the things that you do need to trade for occasionally, even if you take it in the short 6 to 1, it's really not that big of a deal, right? Yeah. So it used to be I did things like, are you familiar with Heelys for Feelies? Have you heard of that one?
Porn?
Okay, no, it's not. It's the thing that Commander Rinsler, give him a shout, originally came up with a couple years back. And in short, the way it works is you take 2 large ships, cutter and a Conda Vet, Type 10, whatever you want. Normally, you would do it with a cutter. You take 2 cutters with prismatic shields and a huge healing beam, and then the rest of your weapons are long-range, turreted pulse lasers. If you're going to be really min-max, you do a weapon-focused distributor. You go to a conflict zone. You and a buddy get nose-to-nose with each other. You wrap a rubber band around your trigger so that you start healing each other. You bind collector limpets to that same button. You let your turrets just go to town on everything, and your collector limpets just spew out. You keep each other alive, and you walk away from your computer for about an hour.
What is it called again?
It's called Heelys for Feelies. is what he came up with. Yeah, that was a Rinsler being goofy.
That's hilarious, man.
So, by the way,
go ahead.
Well, just quickly, so this Edward guy, okay, so he just messaged me actually and said, I'm about to drop, can you follow me in? So I just targeted his low wake. Now, you won't get the 7-second timer. You have to do it manually. So you want to stay at just 75% throttle the whole time. And so now I'm just going to wait until I get the drop. And then once he gives me that, I'll drop it, and then he'll give us the data. So just to point out real quick the way that works again.
Okay, cool.
So just to finish, so those methods, Heelys for Feelies, Dabs, Hopes, and stuff, I haven't done those in a long time because it is much more efficient to just go farm high grades, to just go farm, the Crystal Shards and Commander Jameson Crash Site. Between those 3 sites, that's all you need to do engineering the most efficient way.
That's definitely good. Take notes if you're listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last week, Down Earth Astronomy was saying that mats are the real currency in the game. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. And I would agree with that. I assume what he means by that is because credits are so easy to get. I mean, for those that know, I did a speedrun competition recently, and the winner from 0 to elite rank, and he did it via mining, which means he earned 1,050,000,000 credits in 7 hours and 5 minutes.
Good grief.
Right? So when you think about that, at how easy it is to earn credits that fast with 0 risk in very easy beginner ships even. I mean, Void Opal mining in an adder that costs you under 1,000,000 credits to buy, you can earn 100 million credits an hour, 50 million credits an hour. Right? So given that, I would say because credits are no longer an issue at all, that materials are absolutely the currency of elite. Yeah, I think that's a very fair way for him to say it.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
I was going through your videos, and they only go back a year. Are there some bodies hidden in these videos that you had to cover up, or
no?
What?
I started a year ago.
Did you?
Yeah. I started. My first video was like April of 2018, if I remember right. And I took about a 3 or 4 month break at one point in there. I don't remember exactly when it was, like December, something like that, somewhere in that range. Just honestly just got burned out on the game, just, needed a break. And in fact, I'm kind of on a break right now because I, again, kind of got burned out on it. I've been back playing a lot more the last couple weeks. I had some family stuff happen about 2 months ago, so that I had to deal with that took me away from the game for a while. And, it's one of those games that we all play it because we love it, or certainly, I should say it differently. Those of us that do videos and do what we do this because we love the game and because that's why we do all this. And first and foremost, I do absolutely love Elite as much as I might shit on it at times. I might wind up shitting on it here in a little bit if we talk about a few topics. But that being said, for me, I've never had anything that was the experience of, especially with VR, with HOTAS controls. I mean, right now while we're talking, I'm not playing a video game. I'm flying a fucking spaceship, right? I mean, I am in space. Those of us that that play in VR completely understand that, right? This is not, in that way, it is not a game, right? I very much feel like I've actually been playing a lot of No Man's Sky here recently because of its VR update, and very much the same experience in a different way. And this is our boy. So very much the same, but also, a different, in a different way, right? No Man's Sky is a very different, different type of game, where this is flying a spaceship. No Man's Sky is you're walking around on a planet, that kind of stuff, right? Have you played No Man's Sky?
No, haven't played it yet, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit.
Okay, sure.
Because that's a big thing, but I'll say that for a little bit later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I definitely have some thoughts on that. I think that'd be a great topic to discuss.
Oh yeah. When I was a below 1,000 sub scrub, I used to comment on your work ethic because you were just like cranking out videos, cranking them out. It was like a video factory on your channel, man. But in my experience, the burnout is kind of real, especially if you're only playing one game.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you've reached that point. Well, you said you've reached that point. All it take was just taking a break and then coming back to it.
Yeah, that to kind of remind myself why I play the game, why I do what I do. I've never gotten burned out. I've certainly never gotten burned out on the community or making videos. It's always been nice. I've never felt like, should I say never? It's been incredibly rare that it's felt like work in any way, shape, or form. It's just quickly this build. Like, this is why I love this build so much. I mean, we just took down that vet. I mean, just like it was nothing, right?
Yeah.
And so I've never gotten burned out so much on the video making. It's more been the game or something around the game that winds up frustrating. Right? Things around Frontier, things around just those sorts of things, or several times, like here recently, something in real life, right? A personal thing, a family thing, something that has come up that, that has to come first, right? And so outside of that, when I do get in the zone, I've always been the type that when I'm into something, I get completely obsessed in it, and all of my focus goes to it, right? And so when I get into video mode, it's the first thing that I think about when I wake up, and the last thing I'm thinking about when I go to bed, right? That kind of thing. And so that's where there's been times where I've put out 2 or 3 videos in a day, right? And some of the content, as you have content that's sometimes really easy to produce, that a 5-minute video might take you 3 hours, and then sometimes you've got a 5-minute video that might take you 20. Sure. Right? I would say for me, and I'm actually curious what your number is. I would say for me, my average is probably 2.5 hours per minute of produced video. Right? So if I do a 5-minute video, that's probably 12.5, something in that kind of range. If it's a 5-minute video, it's probably 12 or so hours of work to produce that. Is that about in line with you?
It depends on what type of video it is.
Yeah,
like my
exactly.
Elite Dangerous After Dark videos, I don't know how many hours exactly, but I remember they would take me about a week to collect all the footage, edit it up.
Sure. Well, and you're also doing a lot more stylized content, right, than I am. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just agree. Yeah,
I mean, because where my videos, where I'm guessing here, I might spend more time on either the research or the script side of it, and much less time on the actual filming of it and getting the shots right and kind of mixing the music to it. And I mean, as you said, if I can mention what you said to me earlier, you went to film school, so that absolutely shines through, in the content you produce, where I'm a fan of film and like to put things out, but through my career professionally, I majored in music in high school or in college, so I taught music for many years through college. I taught private lessons. I've been a driving instructor for a long time. I've taught technology at professionally, so I've always kind of been a teacher. So I tend to focus on the educational side a lot more, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to stay steady at 2 videos a week lately, and I find doing that I almost have 0 time to play the game just for fun, and I kind of got to squeeze it in between finding the clips that I need.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, right. It's kind of, and it's funny. Sometimes when I've taken breaks, and to a degree, one of the reasons I haven't gotten back to producing content right now is I am kind of just enjoying getting to play the game. Right, and not having to play the game for a reason or play for to get this shot or that shot or okay, I've got it. Man, why is everybody shooting at me tonight?
You got a rep, man.
I'm hostile, but I didn't think I had any criminal. I'll go back to my home station. It's an interstellar factor and clear see if I've got anything wanted. And so it is nice to get to just get a buddy and just go play the game and remind myself, and I'm sure you can relate to this, why we do this, right? It's because we do really, really enjoy Elite and ultimately do think, I've played, I think in Elite right now, between all of my various accounts, I'm just over 6,000 hours total. And the closest I've ever been to that in all the racing sims I've ever played, and I've been playing those since the mid-2000s. Maybe I have 2,000 hours in racing sims. And I've never been addicted to or in love with a game like I have been with Elite. Right.
Yeah, it'll get you, especially when you're brand new and you've never played something like this. Oh, man.
I remember
it's great to see through other commanders' eyes, through fresh commanders' eyes.
Absolutely, right. And that's one of the things that, when I first started the channel, I wouldn't say I was done with Elite, but at that point I probably had 2,500 hours, and at that point you've done everything there is to do. Right,
Sure.
I've done some PvP. I certainly am not the best PvP pilot in the game. Never going to be. I do enjoy it, but I get my ass handed to me all the time, and so I didn't have the time to get into that. And I had done everything the game had to offer, and so I was looking for what else is there to do. Right, and some friends because I was always the guy that would the Elite subreddit Discord. I was a moderator there for a while, and I was always the guy that would spend a couple hours teaching some noob how to do something. And that's partially because when I started the game, I joined that Discord, and there were 3 guys specifically at the time. One, there's no way he's going to hear this, but Mbothin was his name, who spent 5 hours with me the first night I joined that Discord to explain outfitting and shipbuilding to me. Because I had no idea what A, B, C, D, what's all these. Well, this one's turrets are the most expensive. Those must be the best, right? That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so I've always liked kind of paying that back, and had some friends that, I would tell stuff to, and I started streaming some, and I put all these reference stuff on my Twitch page to help people, and would send people there. And then some friends of mine were like, dude, you should try making making videos. And my first video, which I never published actually, I used a text-to-speech bot, right? One what's
his
name? Yeah. Shit, there's a guy that's got a pretty big channel that still does that.
To get good. The Get Good guy?
Well, Rinsler does that, and I'm thinking, shit, what's the guy that's got...
you didn't see what was on my screen. That was crazy.
Oh, what was it?
We rubber banded right
to
the
the station?
wall of the station, and
yeah,
came back.
okay. Great that you got video of that. Shit, what's the guy's name? It's not... Oh, there's a British guy. Well, he uses 3 different voices, and he does... damn it. The guy... It'll pop in my head if I... No. It's somebody that's not really kind of gotten in our community, so to speak. Shit. It'll come to me. So I did a voice like his, and showed it to a couple friends, and they were like, dude, you cannot do that. Right? And I was like, my voice sucks. I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm gonna do
use
this.
Your own voice.
Well,
so
I just
voice.
Exactly. I just didn't want to use my own voice. And then, right at that same time, I thought, I've got my microphone kind of sucked, and I thought, I should invest in a nice microphone. And once I got this microphone and then decided I would get into announcer voice or, whatever, right? And that really, if you script yourself and you slow down, and as you can tell, I'm talking really fast, right? If you slow down and you stay on point, you've got good audio software to make yourself sound good, you can, even somebody with a crappy voice like me can,
landing gear down?
It is now. Talking and chewing gum at the same time, right? So then I just, I got into it, and it kind of rekindled, my love for the game, right?
I see.
Yeah.
So I asked my patrons to send me any questions that they might have for you. And across the board, that the thing that they all want to know the most is, do you make your videos in your underwear?
Let's see. Have I? Yeah, well, I'm sure in my underwear, definitely in pajamas, no question about that, right? In my underwear, I gotta say that, yeah, it's got to be at some point, right? I mean, like, normally, probably not necessarily, but yeah, of course. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, don't you? I mean, with that sexy voice, you got to, right? I mean, come on, right?
Oh, yeah. The follow-up to that is, do you make videos of you making videos in your underwear?
No. Okay, so I actually one time did make a video, or I should put it like this. I recorded my desktop while I edited a video. And I was thinking that I would make one of those, like, condense a 4-hour video down to 5 minutes of, showing, like, import this, do this, drag this, like that kind of thing. So I did once, and I never published it because I thought it was lame. But I did do that once, right? I will say, when I do stream, I do have a webcam, and I will stream on webcam. I don't really like that, to be honest, in a way, but I also get that people want to see you. Like, if you stream on camera, you're going to get a lot more viewers than if you don't, right? And so I will stream on cam then, and I've never been in my underwear on stream, I will say that. I've always been fully dressed when I was on camera. Yeah, I definitely can say that.
You should offer that as a Patreon reward.
That's it's funny, like, do you do different Patreon rewards? Because I struggle with what tiers. To do.
I'm really trying to work on that, man. I don't have a good reward system right now.
Well, the only thing, so I came up with recently, I can't remember what tier it is. I think $10 a month, which I think I've only got like one or two. You get a private lesson once a month, or I wouldn't call it a lesson, but like if you want to get together and ask questions and do something, that kind of thing, right? Yeah. Okay. And the funny thing is, the 3 or 4 guys that have subscribed at that level since then, every time I've offered it to them, they think it's nice, but nobody's taken me up on it yet, right? Because I've struggled with that too. Like, I don't like paywall stuff. I'm never gonna do an early release video, or I just don't like that kind of stuff, right? I do give people priority access in the Discord, and obviously encourage them to email me or to DM me with any questions, that kind of stuff. But I'm also pretty open anyway, right? If somebody DMs me when I can, I'll get back to them, right?
It's funny, the first time I got DM'd, it was shocking because I didn't expect it, because I'm still kind of green with Discord, but I was completely new to Discord just a few months ago, and somebody DM'd me. I'm like, oh, it was like turning around in your house and somebody's standing right just inside your door. Yeah.
And it was just a random viewer.
Now I'm used to it.
Yeah. And I'll say, and I'm sure you're this way too. It's like every now and then, every now and then I'll get a DM either in game or in Discord, and it's somebody just thanking you, right? Like, hey, watch this video, think you do great content.
Yeah, that's all it was.
And tell me it doesn't mean the fucking world, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's dope, man, that they take the time to do that, man.
To say that, and I always say this, like when somebody does join as a Patreon, or says a comment like that, I'll tell them, look, especially Patreons, it might, and I know when I first got into this, it sounded cheesy as fuck to say, it means a lot, this is why I do this, I can't thank you enough, but it is so completely true. Right? I mean, it is absolutely why we do this. Is certainly not for the money, but for the thanks, for the, people appreciating what it is that we do. So yeah, when you do get those comments, it's great. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you here, Commanders. Me and Exigeous had such a good time that we spent almost twice as long as usual. So I'm chopping this bad boy off right here and calling it Side A. Side B will follow tomorrow, so hit the bell icon to get notified when it drops. I'm DigThat, and we'll see you in just a minute. Big shout out to the fine connoisseurs of the Space Sim and DigThat Arts, aka my patrons. Thanks for keeping the lights on and the videos cranking out. 7-up salute to Commander Blackout, to Diedrichs, to the Mother, to Busta Boy, to Anthony Jackson, to Guillotine Girl, and S to the M. You guys are appreciated. All of my patrons are appreciated. Holla at me on Discord. Deuces. Fly dirty.